I feel like this is just a typical annual video. It's very, very simple. Essentially, everyone wants to know what the best settings are in Modern Warfare 3 or in the new Call of Duty game, and I'm here to tell you. Reason why I'm able to tell you is because I go for full FPS. But, you know, my game looks fine, you know? Right now, I have a 1660 Super, which is slowly falling apart. Like, as time goes on, games I can't run on this fucking thing. Like, I can run them, but when it comes to recording, I have problems. We're also going to cover controller settings, keyboard and mouse players. I'm sorry, I can't help you on that front, but graphic settings and controller settings, I can help. And we're going to start off with controller. It's going to be very, very quick. And if you do enjoy today's video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to be notified every time I put another video. So for starters, I personally play on tactical button layout so that it swaps my right stick and my B button, which essentially means that I'll be sliding, like slide canceling, crouching, all of that with my pressing in my right stick, and then I will be meleeing and knifing with the B button. Very simple. That's all complete preference. Now, I used to switch the bumpers with the triggers, but I got back to used to using the triggers. And that's also personal preference. Originally, it was a case to where like the bumpers for reaction time are a lot quicker, but that's not the case anymore, because when you come down to the dead zone inputs, you can change the dead zone of your triggers, which of course you want all the way low. And these are the dead zones that I run. It's again different for every controller. You want the maxes to be at 100, and then you want the left one, I have at 5. You can try 5. And then 10 for my right stick. It just kind of depends. You want to have the lowest value possible without having stick drift, which means like you either moving or like your character moving literally at all with you not touching your controller. You want it as low as you can without it doing that. And of course, both triggers all the way down to 0. And that's kind of it for like the controller settings. Until you get to the more specific stuff. So I personally run 5.5. Usually it's either like 5.5 or 5.6, at least with the pros. I've met a lot of people that go for like a really high sensitivity and like, sure, like, yeah, you can flick around and everything, but like, I'm sorry, your aim isn't going to be that good. That's just the truth. You want a relatively slower thing for controllers, at least. For keyboard and mouse is completely different, but I would say stick around 5.5 to 6.6, maybe 7.7, but 7.7 would probably be the highest that I go. And then of course I have my ADS multiplier at 0.95, which is just like your ADS sensitivity on and I like having that a little bit slower than my normal sensitivity, but that's just me. Aim response curve type, everyone has done dynamic for the longest time. I literally couldn't tell you why. I don't fully understand aim response curve type. I know standard is like the original games, but I just know that dynamic is better. Everyone's been doing this since it was introduced in Modern Warfare 2019. This has been the go-to one. Linear I found is good for sniping. I will also mention that. So if you're a main sniper, linear is probably the one you want to go for. ADS sensitivity, transitioning, timing, instant, so that it instantly swaps from your normal sensitivity to your ADS sensitivity as soon as you start pulling down the aim button. Target aim assist on, and then aim assist type is kind of controversial. Instantly, you rule out precision focusing. No one uses those. They're like polar opposites. You want either default or Black Ops. I was told that Black Ops was nerfed recently, but that's still what I'm most comfortable with. Essentially, do you want Modern Warfare aim assist or do you want Black Ops game aim assist? It kind of just depends. And I've always done it to where like if I start sucking ass and like missing all my shots, I'll swap from one to the other and then I'll start doing good again. I don't understand. I switch it all the time. But in this game mainly, I've been sticking to Black Ops, but that is also just my personal preference. Try both, figure out what's good. I know both of them are, but you know, I know everyone normally sticks to default though. So if you want to just stick with default, that's up to you. Then we go over to gameplay, and if you don't want to be spamming your left stick in, you could turn on automatic tack sprint. I know a lot of people do that just so that all you have to do is move your left stick forward and you'll be tack sprinting whenever you can. I don't do that. Everything here, I didn't really change except for the slide/dive behavior. This is crucial. This is probably the biggest thing that you need to change in this video. Essentially, it'll be default on tap to slide. You want to switch it to slide only. Now, this is going to get rid of your dolphin dive. I know that sucks for some people that like doing that, or if you're trying to get away from a gunfight and you want to hurry up and do it fast, you can dolphin dive, but you're just gonna have to get rid of it because putting on the slide only will get rid of the delay that it takes from when you press in your right stick or your B button, whatever, to when it actually registers and makes you slide in game. There's a slight delay if you have it on tap to slide, but putting on slide only completely removes that delay, and it essentially gives you the old slide canceling back, just like how it was in Modern Warfare 2019 and in Black Ops Cold War. For the love of God, do that, please. Trust me, it's so good. Everything else, I mean, like if you don't want tack stance, you can turn that off, or some people don't know that you can actually change the way you do it. By default, it's holding ADS and then down on the D-pad. You of course want to keep tack stance if you're doing camo challenges, because that's a camo challenge for the ARs at least. But like I feel like maybe like ADS melee would be good. or ADS sprint might be good, but I just kept it to normal. It doesn't really bother me anymore. It used to have a pop-up when you would aim down, but they got rid of that. Like in the beta, it was like that, and it was kind of in the way, and that's why I disabled it in the beta, but it's not there anymore. It's at the bottom right, so it's kind of out of view. So, and you're not going to accidentally press your, like, down on the D-pad while aiming, and if you do, then I don't know what the fuck you're doing, but you're not going to do that. So you can just keep it the way it is. And then everything else is normal. This is when we get to the graphics settings, and I'm essentially like, it really depends on your system. If you have a good computer, you can get away with higher graphics settings, but for full like FPS stuff, you know, I'll just run through it real quick. You of course want your screen refresh rate. Doing full screen exclusive will give you a little bit more FPS, but I do full screen borderless because I do the consecration and I tap out a lot. NVIDIA Reflex low latency. I have on. If you put on plus boost, it'll tank your GPU a little bit more. If you have a powerful GPU, go for it, but on is good enough for me. VSync, you always want off. Eco mode preset, I just have on custom. I don't really know. I leave that alone. The frame rate limit, I don't even have on unlocked or unlimited. I just have it on custom set to 300. Usually what you want to do is just have it like one setting above your monitor's refresh rate. So my monitor's refresh rate is 280. So like I'd go like 285. High dynamic range you always want off, and then going over to quality, this is a kind of a thing. So if you have a good graphics card, I would say put on fidelity cast because that makes your game sharpen, it makes it look good, it makes it easier to see out in the distance. But when I'm recording, it tanks my FPS so much that I tried today. I actually tried doing AMD FSR 2.1, and that kind of like, it's given me a huge FPS boost. Granted, it's not as sharpened as it would be with fidelity cast, but I've been kind of dealing with it just for content creating purposes. But if you're just playing casually, put on fidelity cast. It looks so nice. VRAM scale target 90, and then I'm just gonna go through and you can copy all these settings if you want. You can pause. On-demand texture streaming you want off at all times, and I'll keep going. Shadows aren't really needed. Tessellation you want off. I've been told to do all on water quality so that it's easier to see in the water, but I mean, I guess I'll put that on. I don't know. It makes it easier to see in the water if you have it on all. And then for view, I genuinely have never understood the concept of like the higher your FOV, the less aim assist you get. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if it's a rumor. I've never understood it. I have mine at 112. That's just been my sweet spot. That's also preference. ADS field of view you want on affected. That'll give you less visual recoil. Weapon field of view you want wide. It just looks better, trust me. Motion blur off, film grain all the way down, and then these camera movement stuff for third person. I mean, we rarely even play third person, but you want at least 50% so that it doesn't shake your screen as much when there's explosions and stuff. That'll help with visual recoil. And then a cool thing is that they have an inverted flashbang option to where instead of your screen going white when you're flashbanged, it'll go black. But it's just like something I'm so used to. Like, I even had one friend tell me that they put this on and they felt like their game crashed when they got flashed because they forgot they had it on. And then for graphics, that's about it. For audio, it all kind of depends on what you want. I have mine relatively lower because I don't sound whore like a little bitch. Reduce tinnitus sound, I know that's good for being on. That kind of stops the sound from flash grenades and stuff. And then interface, another thing I could show you in here is color customization, switching the enemy. Because it's usually up here as like a lighter, like pinkish, turn it to a dark red. It'll make it easier to see. And I also have color filter set to 2 and have it on both so that you see both in your interface and the world, and it kind of helps make things a little bit more vibrant. I also have the HUD bounds like as far in as possible to have my minimap a little bit closer to the center of the screen so I don't have to look up at the top left as much. And I think that is about it. So very, very quick going through. Those are the settings that I found to be the best. Of course, it's going to be different for everyone. You can tamper with it. You can test different things. It's all about testing to figure out what's good with your system. But if you did enjoy today's video, be sure to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications to be notified every time I upload another video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a good one.